Hey, you're kidding me, right? My husband, upon seeing me after I returned home a month postpartum, dropped his bag as soon as he entered the house and blurted this out. Haven't you put on too much weight? What? I'm Emily, 31 years old. I just gave birth to my child last month and I'm a stay-at-home mom. After my postpartum visit home, I looked forward to starting a new life with my new family of 3. However, I was only greeted by my husband's insensitive words. I was speechless. Why would he say such a thing when he's meeting his newborn baby for the first time? My husband, John, and I met at work. After graduating from high school, I worked in the accounting department of a company in New York, where John was my boss. Our home was nearby, but since my parents lived far away, I went home a bit before my due date. It's been a month since our daughter Sophia was born, and I've just returned. John has been busy with work and couldn't get time off to see us at Idaho, so this will be his first time meeting our baby. Despite this, what the hell, John? I just got back from a long journey. I initially thought he was joking and replied lightly, but he was serious. But you've gained like 22 pounds, haven't you? Well, of course. It's normal to gain up to 22 pounds from childbirth. It's even written in the Mother-Child Health Handbook. I had to build strength for childbirth, get my body ready for breastfeeding, and prepare for the sleepless nights ahead. This is perfectly normal. No. This is incredible. John, ignoring Sophia, muttered a sentence that betrayed all the dozens of welcoming words I had imagined he'd say to me on the train, then went straight to his room. What? I was taken aback by his fierce attitude and subsequent withdrawal from his final disappointment, and I dropped the diaper I was holding, just like how John did with his bag earlier. Well, a good night's sleep would probably improve John's mood, I thought, so Sophia and I slept in a separate room that night. However, John's attitude from the previous night was only the beginning of an incoming nightmare. The next day, he began a tirade of body shaming. I learned in the new mothers group at the hospital that sweet potatoes were good for milk production post-delivery, so when I was eating them as a snack, he'd say things like, "What's the point of a potato eating a potato? That's cannibalism. Gosh, it's disgusting watching a fat person eat. I heard pigs eat grain, so are potatoes grains too? Oink oink." Furthermore, he started saying, "Well, I held back while you were pregnant because I thought we would still be able to do it after you deliver the baby. I mean, I'm a man, I have needs too, you know. But this, no matter how much I try, it's impossible. I would feel like I'm putting in labor. But hey, at least with labor at work, I get paid, right? But this is equivalent to uncompensated overtime, which is unfair, haha." Trust a man with a background in accounting. He started to calculate our intimate times in terms of wage compensation, saying things like, "This is definitely cost reduction. I'm spending intimacy for the sake of operational efficiency. The reason being that I no longer see you as a woman due to a change in management policy. Can't help it, haha." Every time he opened his mouth, it was to throw insulting words at me. There were no other words coming from my husband's mouth. And of course, he wasn't participating in housework or childcare. But I have Sophia. I decided to think of my husband's words as no more than a noisy pet in the house. However, this was only till an incident occurred where I finally lost it. It was the day when John came home drunk from his end-of-year party with his colleagues. He sat on the living room chair, slumped over the table with only his face facing me. I was sitting next to that chair nursing. While letting out foul-smelling hiccups and burps from drinking, John began saying weird things with slurred speech. "You know, I thought about it, and babies, they ain't as cute as they're made out to be. Kind of bald and reddish black. They only coo broken words." Huh? It's like, people always say they're cute, right? I'm just being honest, because being an accountant means you gotta look at things realistically. Huh? And when I see you nursing that not-so-cute baby, like, you got fat to just give birth to a not-so-cute creature, and then, you know how your boobs sag from breastfeeding? That seriously turns me off. What? And when I look at your sagging boobs, upper belly, lower belly, you're just like a pill bug. A pill bug? I can't see you as anything but a pill bug now. Dude, I seriously can't. Doing it with a pill bug is like a freak show fight. With those words, he abruptly grabbed my hand and shoved me, along with my baby, into the back room. Hey, what the heck are you doing? I barely had time to resist and shout before he tossed me in, shut the door, and John left me with these cold words. "Just get back in your shell, you pill bug." Afterwards, I heard the sound of him opening the bathroom door singing the Pill Bug Brothers song. Unforgivable. It's one thing to insult me, but to insult our child too? He might have been drunk, but this was crossing the line, beyond what can be excused as just a drunk man's rambling. I laid there, filled with rage, nursing my child in the dark room. The next morning when I opened the door, my anger peaked. Not because of the trail of tossed clothes leading to the bathroom or the drinks that were left on the table. No, that was not what made my anger explode. It was when I saw the cardboard put up in the room I was locked in, which read, Pillbug's room. It was written in a sloppy writing, likely from John being drunk, but it was definitely his handwriting using a marker. This I cannot forgive. So I decided to stand up for myself. The first phase was personal reform. Firstly, I moved the Pillbug's room sign to my new bedroom for me to fuel myself whenever I felt like giving up. And then I put up a poster of Rihanna on the opposite wall. I've always been a fan of hers, and her great figure is the perfect motivation to become what I want to be. And thus began my long-term revenge project in this Pillbug's room. There are things I can do even at home, primarily walking on my tiptoes. Wall sits if I were to sit just for a second, squatting while doing laundry or brushing my teeth. Every time I finish nursing, I'll do a crunch. A nurse once told me, postpartum bodies lose weight easily as the fat gained is quite soft. It turned out to be true, and I lost weight quite easily. As my child grew bigger, during my ab workouts, I'd place her on my stomach. Each time my face would come near, she'd chuckle with glee, and when I lifted my legs, she'd enjoy it as if it were a seesaw. While caring for my child, I continued my rigorous exercise routine and diet. Soon, I regained my pre-pregnancy figure. Since I was sweating a lot from the exercise, I continued to wear my postpartum sweatpants, only swapping out the waistband. There was no need to dress up in front of John, who referred to me as a pillbug, so I obviously didn't wear makeup. John, who had started to call me, "Hey Pillbug," obviously didn't notice these changes since I wore the same clothes as before. Besides, he hardly even looked at me. The second phase was downgrading the husband. You often hear that one way to increase the gap between you and your rival is to raise yourself while lowering them, so I decided to get John to gain weight. His company didn't have a cafeteria, so I packed him high-calorie lunches filled with meat and deep-fried food. In the evening, when John came home around 9, I continued to serve him his favorite foods like pizza and fried chicken, saying, "These are your favorites, aren't they?" Of course I ate dinner with my child around 6 in the evening. At that time, I aimed for my meal to consist of 70% vegetables and 30% meat. I found the 3-bite rule very effective. Even if I felt hungry, the hunger would go away if I waited for 10 minutes. When I got bad food cravings, I would look at myself in the mirror, then at the poster of Rihanna. Seeing her turned my hunger into guilt, which helped me curb my appetite. Of course, I didn't think I could keep this up just by doing this, so I started a Twitter account. Every day when I took a bath, I'd undress and take a photo of my stomach. Under the handle Emily at Home Diet, I posted these pictures daily along with a description of the exercises I did. 4 years later, my daughter Sophia started kindergarten. By that time, Sophia, who was a baby, had begun to speak. Being able to communicate, John had started to adore and dote on her. However, after everything he's done to push me this far, and considering the words he said when Sophia was born, I couldn't forgive him anymore. And to add to that, his nickname for me had solidified as Pillbug, which helped maintain my rage. When Sophia started school, during the time she was at kindergarten, I started working part-time at a local fitness club. I was just doing reception and cleaning, but since the customers were all very conscious of their muscles and beauty, it further boosted my own awareness of beauty. And everyone would tell me, "Emily, you're beautiful. You have a great figure too." With this, I was convinced that I could be categorized as beautiful based on comments I received generally. Well, the time has come. I've decided to lay it all out, everything from the past 4 years to John at a traditional sweets tea house in Cape Cod, which is run by John's family this Tuesday at 1 p.m. John's parents run a tea house where you can eat traditional sweets in a famous tourist spot with an iconic church. Thanks to being listed in the guidebook, the tea house was bustling, and they had asked me to bring their grandchild Sophia to show them once things had settled down. So I decided to visit their shop. Tuesday afternoon is relatively less busy. They decided to leave the customer service to a part-time employee so we could spend some time together at the tea house. John has end-of-the-year accounts to sort, so he said he'll go to work in the morning, take a half day off in the afternoon, and join us later. After sending John off to work, I meticulously did my base makeup and straightened my hair. I usually tie my hair into a simple ponytail in front of John, but when I let it down to straighten it, it becomes shiny and wavy. I'll draw my eyebrows that aren't there when I'm barefaced, and instead of the usual tracksuits I wear in front of John every day, today I'm dressing up in a cherry blossom colored suit. I now wear a size 4. I'm not letting him call me a pillbug anymore. I intentionally arrived 10 minutes late. I had a text from John saying he had already arrived. Upon arriving, I saw an additional text from him. "You're late. Do pillbugs always move slowly too?" Click. I took a screenshot and stowed my phone away in my bag. Now, watch this. I puff out my chest and take a deep breath. Then, with a bell jingling, Sophia and I open the door together. Hearing the door, my mother-in-law exclaimed, "Welcome! Oh my, Emily, I've been wanting to see you, and Sophia too." "Hello, mother-in-law." I lower my head. "Hello, let's talk in the back. John's already here. And Sophia, you're so cute." My mother-in-law was more excited to see her grandchild than to tend to her customers, so she handed the tray to the part-timer and asked them to take over. As I walked toward the back and saw John's back, he heard my footsteps and said, "You're slow. How long are you going to keep me waiting, Pillbug?" As he turned around and looked at me, and then, it's amazing how wide a person's eyes can get when they're surprised, and how much their nostrils can flare and their mouth can open. His holes were so wide open, I thought he was trying to break a Guinness World Record. Every hole on his face was staring at me wide open. Of course he was silent after that. "Hello, John," I say, keeping my tone purposefully aloof. Well, Sophia is just adorable, looking just like her mother Emily. Such a beauty. My mother-in-law steps in, serving 5 servings of the store's specialty dessert on a tray before taking a seat in the living room. "You seem to be at a loss for words." As the silence persists, I decided to break the ice. No, it's nothing." John stutters just as my father-in-law makes his entrance. "I've been waiting. I missed Sophia." Surrounding Sophia, they start adoring her, showing their wrinkled smiles. In stark contrast, John grimaces and blurts out, "Well, she is our child, Emily's and mine." The showdown begins. I promptly retort, "Yes, your child, with a Pillbug." I let it out. John freezes, and his parents pause their fawning over Sophia. "What did you just say?" My mother-in-law asks for clarification. I said Pillbug because John had been calling me a Pillbug after I gave birth, saying he can't see me as a woman anymore. "Hold on, I would never say such a thing if you were this slim, Emily." "You didn't notice I was losing weight, did you? You kept saying you couldn't see me as a woman, pushing me to the back room, right? And you didn't even notice the changes over these 4 years, right? You never even looked at me, always calling me ugly, right?" I took out a cardboard sign labeled Pillbug's Room from my bag and put it on the table. His parents were left speechless. "Mother-in-law, father-in-law," I continue. "I hope this sign alone proves the emotional abuse I've suffered, but there's more evidence." I took out my phone. Screenshots of the text where he calls me Pillbug were on my phone. Of course I included the one sent before coming to this cafe. His parents are again left speechless at the sheer volume of the evidence. "John, what on earth?" In a strained voice, my father-in-law manages to say, "Cut the crap, always with this evidence. In response, John raised his voice in anger. Suddenly from behind us came, "No way, is that for real?" There was a snickering laughter. 2 high school girls sitting at the table behind us were looking at us and laughing. "They always yell at beautiful women, these creepy old men. So funny. Gross and fat, and yelling, 'Triple threat, isn't he? Haha.'" Their laughter and voices were clearly audible at our table. "For someone who calls others Pillbugs, how about you? You're fat and greasy." I paused for a moment and then spat out, "You're more like a stink bug." Having said that, I showed a photo taken at the maternity hospital immediately after giving birth to my in-laws. "Please look, this is Sophia right after she was born, and this is me." Upon seeing this, my mother-in-law teared up. "Sophia, so tiny, so cute. Thank you for giving us such a precious granddaughter." But after giving birth when I came home, John told me, "You're no longer attractive. I can't see you as a woman. Because your breasts sag after having a child, you're just a Pillbug." He even said that Sophia, who had just been born, was not cute because she was reddish black. My in-laws were at a loss for words. That's enough, isn't it? I took out a green piece of paper from my bag. "I've just presented evidence of emotional abuse. I would like to end our relationship here." "Hold on a minute, weren't you just a gold digger using me? How are you going to support Sophia now?" I was prepared for John's attempt to grab and question me. I quickly pulled out my phone on the table, switching the screen. Twitter, Emily at Home Diet. My follower count had already exceeded 10K. Look at this, the manager of the gym said he would hire me full-time when I showed him this. The screen was filled with comments of praise such as, "Amazing to lose so much weight at home. You are the hope of all housewives," and "Emily, you're beautiful. I admire you." That's enough. Suddenly, my mother-in-law raised her voice. "John, you don't understand how hard it is for a woman when she gives birth. It's truly tough. Women often gain weight in order to endure childbirth and maintain their strength. Mothers hardly get any sleep in order to protect their babies. And you without knowing any of this, how dare you keep calling her a Pillbug? I don't even know how to apologize to Emily. You should be ashamed." Then, turning to me, she said, Emily, I apologize on behalf of my foolish son. If there's anything we can do to make it up to you, please let us know. And could you let us see our adorable granddaughter Sophia from time to time? That's right. We run a traditional tea house, so we wouldn't burden Sophia. We'd be grateful if we could celebrate her birthdays and such without John. My father-in-law agreed, bowing his head. And so I began working as a single mother at a fitness club. My friend said you're beautiful, Mom. Sophia always tells me, to which I always respond, to become beautiful, you have to work hard. It's important to believe in yourself and persevere. I want you to become someone who can work hard, Sophia. Meanwhile, the stink bug, or rather John, my mother-in-law told me he tried to get back together with me by working on his diet. However, he couldn't even handle the food restrictions and is still a stink bug. After I began working full-time at the fitness club, my Twitter follower account even surpassed 2K. I've even been approached by a publisher. Even a stay-at-home mom can do it. You have to seize your own happiness. I hope to continue my activities to become a small inspiration for all the hardworking housewives out there.